provider block and AWS, and let's define the region for this provider. And here I'm going to define the east, if I can spell, east2 region. Okay, I'm going to define the secret key and the access key. For this sensitive data, I'm going to define this in the variables .tf, the variable. I'm going to copy this text. I want to misspell it. The type is string, and the description could be secret key for the hotel app. And here I'm going to define that this is a sensitive data. Sensitive by default is false. I'm going to change to true. Okay, I'm going to define the second one variable. It is the access key, and the same, the type is string, and the description is the access key for the hotel app, and sensitive change to true. Save, and you can see another time the format is running correctly. And here I'm going to call this variable for the secret key, and here the variable for access key. Save it, format is valid, and the linter error is gone. Save here, and let's see the second error for the linter is gone. And now we have defined the backend for this network, the provider, and the variables. For the variables, we need to create the Terraform .tf_vars to indicate this file is files for the sensitive data. Now, to use the Terraform modules, I'm going to search for these modules. You can see here in the page of the Terraform documentation, you can find the registries or the access to the registry. I'm going to open this registry, and you can find whatever module you want to use. In my case, I'm going to search for Terraform VPC module. Okay, and here I'm going to check how to use this module in the documentation. Here you can see the documentation for this module, and here you can find the definition of this module. I'm going to copy this definition. This module defined a VPC, and in this VPC I'm going to edit some data. For example, the name, hotel VPC manual. Okay, and here I am going to use this 𝗃𝗏 10.0.0.16, and here are the ability zones. And here we define 3 ability zones, but here just need one ability zones. This ability zone is regarding to the ability zones that we defined here in the backend. Let me check in the provider. Here I'm going to copy this one and going to change the ability zone, paste, and the other one is for the second ability zone. And I have two networks in the ability zone US East 2A and US East 2B. Regarding to the subnet, I'm going to use just one subnet. I'm going to define just one subnet, and I'm going to define one subnet for the public subnets and one for private subnets. Let's save. I'm going to close and open again because I'm going to check why it is not showing the correct format. Let's save and let's check what is it. Module not installed. Okay, I have to run the apply command for this change. I'm going to close and use the Terraform apply or init. First init, and with init, excuse me, this init command download the module and update the environment. Let's open the module network again, and you can see the VPC module was installed, and now the link is not showing the error. Let's continue creating this module, and I'm going to add or define that I want to define a single NAT gateway for the network. I want to enable the DNS support true, and enable DNS host name true, and saved, and you can see the format is run. Next, I'm going to define the security group module. To do that, the same, I'm going to search for the security group, Terraform Security Group module, and here I'm going to go to the page for the security group module, and you can find the definition for this security group. And here we have one example of the definition. Let's copy this example is more accurate. Let me check what is best for our purpose. Okay, let's copy the second one because I can see the ingress rule. Let's copy and paste. Here I'm going to change the name of the security group, security group for hotel app, and delete the other string. Okay, save, and security group for user services, no, for dev. Change for dev container, and here I'm going to define to open different ports. For example, I'm going to enable in the security group the ports for allow the SSH connection, enable the HTTP request and HTTPS request. Here I have the VPC ID. We need to define the output from this ID. To do that, I'm going to define the output file, output.tf, and here I'm going to define the output. I don't see the autocompletion. Let's check why. Okay, I name it this file bad. The output is the class, but the name is outputs.tf. Okay, let's open out. I don't see the autocompletion. Let's close this and open again. Outputs. Okay, output VPC ID, and here the value is equal to module.vpc-id. Save, close, and see. Okay, I need to install this module first. Let's install running the Terraform init again to install the output module and the module for security group 2. Let's wait, and here the modules are installed. Let's open the outputs. We check this output is working fine. VPC, okay, change to VPC ID, and let's back to the network modules to continue editing the security group. Let's change to module.vpc.vpcid c-id. Okay, let's save, and I'm going to change this name for this module. I'm going to change to security group hotel app, and here I have the HTTP and SSH ports. I need to run again the Terraform init to install the new name for the security group, and modules, and continue. Here here I'm going to define the egress rule. There are two ways to define. This is the first one with the predefined rules. These apply for the HTTP, HTTPS, and SSH, I guess. But for a standard, I like to use this form because it's more flexible. I'm going to pass this rule to this one. Let's copy and paste, and let's put the 𝗃𝗲 equal to let's put this one. I'm going to open for the internet ports. For this, I'm going to put 2 zeros, and I need the comma at the end. This is the rule that I installed, and here I'm going to open just the port 8081. Okay, and let's check what said, but first I think I need to delete this rule. Let's check what is going on. Invalid value for input variable. Let me check what it is. Okay. The variable that is grown is this one, cd blocks. Okay, let's save, and I think it is done. Okay, let's close again to see if it's memory or something like that. I think the error is because these characters. Let's remove this and check what is happened after save. And okay, that was the error. Now I'm going to define the other port because I have defined this port for HTTPS. I'm going to define for the HTTP port. Let's change this port HTTP 18 port. Let's save, and here this port is okay. Let's change to expose this port to the internet, and here I need to define the other last port. It is for SSH dash TCP. We don't need to put the 22 port because it is default to SSH. And good, that is all I think. And now I'm going to define the egress definition. Let's put the egress with I don't see the okay. It is the wrong place. Egress with CDR block. Let's put this one. Okay, and I'm going to copy and paste this one and paste this one. Okay, now we have defined the security group for module for the HTTPS, HTTP and SSH. Now, okay, I changed the name. We need to run the Terraform init. Now we have this security group defined for the dev container, because in the dev container we are going to access to the API and the front ends app. Now I'm going to define the security group for the EC2 instance that allow to access to a MySQL instance. To do that, I'm going to create a new module. Let's copy this one and paste. This security group is used for SSH, and I'm going to run again Terraform init just to install this module, and I'm going to edit this module. Let's edit this module. Okay, let me check. Module, I passed this module. Okay, security group, the name is security group app. The description is for security group for change my or database instance. Okay, the VPC ID is the same. The seeder block, I don't want this server have the HTTP ports open, we don't need it. We don't need the 8081 port. Let's do delete, and the same for egress rule. Okay, let's save, and I check this error, or I want just open the port 8081. For this I'm going to change to open just this port, and that is it. We have done with all required to create our infrastructure. Now let's to run this infrastructure in our Amazon Web Service cloud provider. For that, I'm going to show you that we have not the VPC, and for that I'm going to go to the VPC section. Here you can see that I just have one VPC. Okay, Virginia, I created the infrastructure in the region Ohio. I'm going to change to the US East 2, and here in Ohio, the right region, I'm going to check if I have more than one VPC. Here I can see just one VPC, and here it should be marked like a default. The tenancy is default, and I'm going to run this Terraform code to check if the VPC is created and all the security group is created. To run the Terraform and create the infrastructure, we need to run the Terraform command and apply. Let's run this command. This command should take a while, and here is the information of all the infrastructure that will be created. Okay, here just type yes to process with the creation of the infrastructure in AWS. Let's wait a while. It's take a moment because it create some rules and some services that take a while. Okay, the process finished. It take 2 minutes and 3 seconds, and here is the VPC ID. This VPC ID is the output that we define in the outputs.tf, and here the VPC ID created is finished in B45. Let's check it out in the console if this VPC was created. And here I'm going to refresh the console, and here you can see this VPC finished in B45, and here we can see all the information for this VPC, the seeder and the networks associated to this VPC. And here in Subnets, I'm going to refresh these subnets, and now we can see 2 subnets. The first one is the public subnet, and the second one is the private subnet. Related to the security groups, here in the section for the security group, let's to refresh this security groups section, and here we can see the security group that we created. This one is for the private security group. It is associated to the port 22 for SSH connection, and the other one here is the inbound rule is for other ports. For example, this HTTPS for the port 443 is associated to this security rule group, and here we can see the other ports that we defined to open in these security groups, included this custom security group 8081, and that is the network created from Terraform. Now I'm going to create the EC2 instances.